And absolutely, and certainly the internet is helping that. It's helping get a lot of this great information that's been around for centuries, but bringing it to the masses, and more and more people are discovering it, and I think it's awesome. I would like it to happen a lot faster, but it's without question it is
Yeah.
happening, and I think there's a lot to be hopeful for all of us.
Yes. Well, we have tools now that we can actually make that happen, so that it happens a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking to you about that either offline, or if we have time, we'll talk about it on the show. But the headline that you have on your website really grabbed me. It says 90% of people never find meaning and fulfillment in their life. And you already got
Yeah.
ahead of me here, but that's okay, because I wanna say more about it, and I want you to say more about it.
Sure.
Why do you think that there's so much pain in people's lives, and why is the number so high?
Yeah, that is such a great question, isn't it? Why? I believe, and you may or may not have this same belief, that we all come into this world with all that we need to live a life of perfect abundance, peace, joy, and love, and yet so many people aren't. And part of the answer for me is that we come into this world and we're kind of like this blank slate, our subconscious mind. It's taking in all this information, it's recording as we go through life, and unfortunately, as we grow older, we come in contact with more and more people who've been here for longer periods of time, and through the process of being here, they've been wounded in different ways throughout their life, and they have suffered different amounts of pain, and from that woundedness and from that place of pain, they say and they do things from that place, and quite often, as young children, we're there in that moment while that's being expressed, and because we don't know any better, we take it on as information about who we are, even though it has nothing to do with us. And for me, that begins the limiting process. That begins to make us feel less worthy, make us feel less capable of doing things that our heart desires in our life. So that becomes a part of it. And between the time we're about 9 years old until about 12, that kind of gets sealed in, and it becomes what's known as, some people may call, the life script. And so here we are. It doesn't matter how old we are, we be 40, 50, 100 years old, unless we've gone in and done specific work in terms of removing those beliefs that we had about ourselves were formed based on inaccurate, incomplete, or simply wrong information. We're living on this life script that was formed by the time we're about 8 or 9 years old. And that's what's creating our experience on a moment by moment and day by day basis. And so that's a lot of the reason why people are in pain. They come in with all the information they need in their heart to follow a certain path that'll bring them joy and happiness and fulfillment. And yet they get knocked off of that path, and they begin to feel capable of less. And that creates pain because they're not following the path that they were meant to follow in this life. They're not living the life that they were born to live. They're living what they've been told is possible for them. They're living what they've been conditioned to believe is what they should want. How many people do we see that think that money is going to be the path to happiness for them? Then they get all the money in the world and they're still not happy. They think that having the ideal relationship is going to be the cure-all to happiness in their life. They get the ideal relationship, and yet there's still other areas of their life that just aren't functioning at the level that they should be, and they're not happy. And so that's really why the bottom line, in the work that I do, is to get people out of that conditioning, out of their mind, and deeply connected to their heart, because that's the place, like you said, clarity is so important. When you're deeply connected to that heart, which I call the champion's heart, all that chaos, confusion, fear, and doubt dissolves away, and the path before you comes clear, and it's just a matter of continuing to take one step after another along that path. And then there is no more pain.
Yes, I'm very much in agreement with you, what you described so far. I'd like to add one significant thing that happens to us when we're tiny is we experience a trauma, a very heavy-duty trauma that I call our core issue, and I know you're familiar with it because you've been on the same path I've been. I've been doing this for over 30 years, so we speak each other's language. And sometimes people that tune in and listen to our shows or interact with us, they may not immediately understand what we mean by that, but it's something that we take on some huge hurt. And in essence, when that happens and we buy it hook, line, and sinker, the game is over. And in a way, I relate that to